Good day, and welcome to another podcast for Talking Irish. We're heading into the home stretch with our final regular season game against the USC Trojans, who each year we seem to be playing them towards the end of the season around Thanksgiving, and this year is no exception. This year is a little bit different than it has been in the last couple, at least even the last couple decades, with Notre Dame being the higher ranked seed at number one and USC not even in the rankings at this point, which I think a lot of people would have seen things a little bit differently with the fact that USC came into the season ranked number one. The big story is Matt Barkley, starting quarterback, is not going to be playing after being knocked out last week against UCLA. A little side note, the player that actually knocked him out was son of former Notre Dame football star Tony Brooks, so there's a little maybe karma there for some of your Irish fans. A lot of people are looking towards the big story as the big opportunity for Notre Dame to get by USC without a problem. However, I think the first thing we're going to have to take a look at is the backup quarterback that they have, Max Wickett. He's got a couple years of experience at USC. He is a redshirt freshman, meaning he's been with the program all of last year and all of this year. Admittedly, he's only been in 3 games, passing 9 times, completing 8, which is not a bad percentage, with a total of 95 yards and a touchdown. However, we do realize that game experience is the only way to get real experience, and Everett Golson has proven that. Everett Golson is also a redshirt freshman. The difference between him and Max is that he's got a number of actual games under his belt, mostly as a starter, and he's getting better every week because of that experience. I think Wickett is going to be not necessarily a deer in headlights. As a matter of fact, he came out as a 5-star recruited by all the big schools, including Notre Dame. So he's not some 3rd, 4th string quarterback that's a walk-on. He's definitely was planned to be the future of USC. So I would not overlook this kid's ability to make plays. The scouting report says he's got a rocket arm at 6'4", I think around 245. I think he might be less at 235, but that was the beginning of the year. So he's definitely, obviously grown not just in experience, but working out as well. So he's coming up as well as Everett probably has in terms of just practices, but game experience is lacking. I do like the fact that Notre Dame's going to come in confident but not cocky. I think they know that USC is still a good program. Let's face it, they have a very solid running game. They have a fantastic passing game. Yes, a lot of that can be attributed to Matt Barkley, but I definitely think their 2 starting wide receivers are a big piece of the puzzle, and almost any quarterback should be able to get them somewhat involved in the play. First, obviously, is Marquise Lee, their wide receiver, who is actually, I believe, leading the nation in receptions at 107 and possibly yards at 1605. He also has 4 touchdowns to his credit. At 6'1", he is only a sophomore, but he's got some good game experience. He played all of last year as well, averaging over 15 yards a catch. This year he's right at 15 yards a catch. And he is a playmaker. He does things with and without the ball, and he's fast enough that he gets downfield. The Irish defenders better not let him behind him, because he will beat them. If we can keep him in front, make them work their way up the field as opposed to big chunk plays, I think we'll be in pretty decent shape. In addition to Marquise Lee, they also have another wide receiver at junior, 6'1" as well, Robert Woods, and he's got 3 years of experience. This year he's got 66 receptions for over 700 yards. He's averaging just under 11 yards a catch with 10 touchdowns. Again, another talented receiver, very athletic, very skilled, very quick, very fast. So make no mistake about it, without Matt Barkley, USC may not be as good of a team, but they definitely have the weapons around this redshirt freshman to make things happen. They are currently ranked 20 in passing yards per game at 307. And that's a pretty good clip. Notre Dame's defense should be able to get some pressure on the young quarterback. Hopefully, the lack of real game experience, that's where it'll come into play to hurt him. The rushing game, however, fair, 160 yards a game for a ranking of 66 in the nation. But they do have both their running backs, Reed and McNeil, both can come out of the backfield and make catches, which they've both done this year. They've got respectable statistics. They're decent-sized guys. They're quick. They're fast. Again, standard operating procedure for the USC Trojans. Reed has got 740 yards on the year, averaging 5.4 with 9 touchdowns. McNeil's got 658, averaging 6.3, but he's only got 2 touchdowns. So he's a little bit more the touchdown guy, but both guys are getting a lot of touches. Not that far off in yards or yards per carry, and there definitely are some weapons that Whitted can definitely take advantage of. Defensively, USC is a little weak. Definitely for a USC team, currently giving up 24.8 points a game, putting it at 48th in the nation. I think Notre Dame should continue to grow their offense behind Everett Golson's development and be able to put enough points on the board that even if we do give up a few big chunk plays, we should be able to handle them on the scoreboard. Defensively, they're just not the USC of old. Their defensive line, we should be able to handle pretty well with our experienced offensive line. Our running back should get the game going and open up the pass as well. I think this is a good opportunity for Tyler Eifert to continue his late season statistical blowout. I just don't see USC having enough overall firepower to beat our defense, and I think their defense is just not strong enough to handle what we are able to do on offense. Again, not a lot of firepower, but with Everett Golson developing, Wood really getting into his stride, everything seems to be clicking at the right time for this matchup. Our kicking game is still a little bit of a concern. If it does get close, with pressure, I think Brenzo does a little bit better. But just on common field goals and standard point afters, if it's a matter of 3 or less points, we could be in trouble. Again, defensively, I just don't see them being able to stop our offensive line surge. Everett Golson, as long as he doesn't turn the ball over, as long as he continues to make smart plays, he should have another decent to good game against the Trojans. That's it for now, and hopefully we'll be able to celebrate Sunday morning heading into the bowl season with an undefeated season, which we'll talk about just the amazing transformation of this team from being in a rebuilding year to just being the number 1 team in the country without defeat and being really the only team bowl eligible that can say that. And as always, go Irish.